Okay, well, I'm just tweaking now, trying to figure out where the problems are. When I run it, it's coming together. Some of those problems I had made, I have ironed out a bit. Render options. It's got the general bit at the top. It's got video options. Image options contains nothing. That's okay. I can see video options is a bit, the panel's a bit short for video options. The cancel and apply buttons are not there. I think that the video options is supposed, the image options is just supposed to be okay. Window title height plus window border size. CY plus image. Okay, how am I getting image options height? New. Am I doing any weird resizing? No, I just say I am XY width height. View setup and image options with just an XY, no width and height. It becomes the width of the parent, and its height becomes this numbuts plus T borders times bore. T borders times bore. I thought that maybe I didn't need that times bore. I'm gonna take it out, but anyway. Sections 1, T borders. Yeah. Okay. So I would say first off, in video options, new. Button height plus numbuts plus T borders. Button height for the title, the number of buttons in 4 sections means 3 borders, but oh, there is also the top and bottom borders. I should just say bore times 2.0. I think that is true. Why that doesn't solve that maybe just about solves the video options box button size, but it doesn't solve the problem of where on earth the bottom of that. I don't know what that came out to be. Guess it came out to be about right. Video options height, I guess, is coming out completely insane. I will just write it. I will debug write IOH because I'm so lazy, plus string of apologise about my mic. Options height. I should take out all of the stuff that I have about all the stuff in the properties about being able to set the height and width. They're not setters, they're just doing something kind of arbitrary. Okay, well now the box is the right height. Cancel and apply are nowhere to be seen. This, I don't know, maybe it looks actually a pixel too high. Definitely does look a pixel too high. Got one. See that one looks right. Maybe it's not border times 2. I don't understand why it's not border times 2. 60, so that was right. CX, CY. And it's in self. Image options was at CY. Parent self. This came out about right. Before I do anything else, this. Don't understand why that is, but I'm going to take it out. Oh no, I'll say times 1.0 as a bizarre reminder to me that I do not understand. So it's a reminder that I won't understand, that I do not understand. Zero, 2, 1, 1. 2, 1, 1, 1. Height equals CY plus that and that. It came out the right height. And these two things are locked high. So wherever they ended up on that. Okay, right, now I begin to see why. I do begin to see why they can't be locked high. Right. Yeah, no, they can't be locked high. This, if this thing is going to change size, it kind of needs to be. Oh, no, they can be locked high. I just have to do this differently. I just have to say that CY doesn't come from that. Or yeah, maybe CY can be and it can be that. But actually, I'll say local. I've got to come up with another crappy Y. BY float equals whatever H is just now. I hate this. Yeah, it's just an H, it's a random friggin' number. So it's H minus god damn it, button height minus, it's like window border. I think the fact that window border size is different to border size is something that has been throwing me off. And this, I feel like I should just make that 0.0 now because I'm bucking the system anyway. This will probably fix it. It's just a strange thing to do. Oh, bye back. I've spent too long just mulling this stuff over today. Excuse me. This will probably work because this sets it that. Oh no, it won't quite. Yeah. And it also won't. Oh no, yeah, locked high. By equals height minus button height. I really, honestly, I don't quite understand why that isn't working. When self arranges itself, these two buttons as children of self, with their top and bottom sides attached to the bottom, should pull themselves to the bottom. And I am baffled. X button Y equals height minus button height. Oh man, why is this so hard? X, Y, width, height. Set parent root to main zone active equals false. Uh, uh, no, I'm not getting that at all. That should, like, in theory, what's this problem? Border not found, eh? Ah, me. I'm basically just making a video to rub my brain. It's getting kinda late. And I have done a lot today, so it's no surprise I can't really concentrate. I should just get it to output something. This is a bit neatly packed in. I mean, everything else is working as normal, as it was and should. But no buttons. And I don't know why. X, left, right, top to bottom. Well, I mean, I'm reluctant to do this way. But if I do that and then say that they are locked to the top, then maybe it will just appear in place. Don't like it, but it might just do that. Right. Well, that's real interesting. Well, that's not so interesting. I just did it wrong. Well, let's have a look at the position of them anyway. I have a feeling that I want borders between these sections. Yeah. I also need to update the gadgets. Where are we? Here, self-arrange and update gadgets, and I want to options panel. Height plus. I am going to assign bore. Okay. Oh, you'll get round to it. So, options panel plus bore. This plus bore, and this plus bore. And I'm getting near to where I'm happy enough, I guess, with the output options. Oh, the render options. I need to center it on the mouse because it's annoying the way in fact it's unacceptable, and it shouldn't happen the way it pops off the side of the screen, in fact. Excuse me. General video options, image options. I think I may left align these to make them more distinct from the options beneath them, because it's not like the it's not like the buttons and the panels are very distinct from each other. And I could make the whole thing a little bit wider just so that this is more comfortable, or I could stick scale into the thing beneath. I kind of think probably it makes more sense. But they could use more space. Draw mode options, similarly, it needs to appear in the right position. This one has no such problems with the bloody apply and cancel. Stupid thing. Although I suppose, no, yeah, I'm doing it the same damn way. But anyway. Okay, and it flicks between all these things correctly. And I apply. And am I able to affect the line width now? Yeah. Okay, well, it's relieving to see it do some things, you know, some things on the actual screen. render doesn't appear correctly. That loop button needs sorted. It does appear to appear, yeah, well it would appear the correct distance from the bottom. This bar could afford to be a bit wider so that I can actually see some of these things a bit better, so that there's more space. These need to be made taller. And I guess that I will implement some form of tooltips in my GUI. It's not some, I've just never got around to it. I'm not averse to it. I forget really that these things work. And that the loop also works. But okay, so this is coming along. I'm missing a position button. This is too it's like this one's too big. I need to make an option to make this as wide as the thing it came out of. So I've got a whole list of little things that are wrong with it. And neither of these buttons, like, remember, this is the one I actually wanted to make. Neither of them do anything. I can hardly see my my axis. I think the axis may have to be drawn with a dotted line. Excuse me. Okay, I'm going to shrink the size of project. Am I? Nah, I'm not. I'll leave it. It's maybe okay like that. I can shrink the size of this, if anything. It's nicer though, much nicer having the greater control. Like if I make a crazy big loop. Yeah, you can still feel the coarseness of it though, frankly. But it's pretty good. So, what do I need to fix first? Man, you can see the crumminess of my lines in there. I think I'll switch to using just the hardware lines. It's pretty easy to do for this, and I could, the nicer the better, you know. I wonder if there's anything else I could do about it. Anyway. Yeah, there certainly is, actually. Yeah. I don't want to get distracted thinking too much about this. I want to think clearly about how I want to arrange these things. I need to find my position marker. I wish there was a smaller way to say preview recursions. Like this, in a sense, is the significant number of recursions, and it does come back. Unless I put it up to 25 and then cancel it, because that's foolish, then it doesn't. I'm pleased to see this kind of thing working. Sure, have a scale of -9. No, you wouldn't do that. That's crazy. Good. Okay. Oh, half a dozen little things, right. First off, why is it this XY what on earth is this new render options, right? This come away. This need to get my mouse one fixed. I am going to say that forever. Y a minus width divided by 2.0 minus height divided by 2.0, and similarly in draw mode options. Boy, everything is conspiring here. This is probably the easiest thing to do. Minus width divided by 2.0 minus height divided by 2.0. Okay. And in render options, when I knew it, here I say general, I should say title, justify left, and in image options where I say title, I should say title, justify left, and I should copy this line, and in video options, say title, I do the same thing. In the GUI, when I set up the GUI, start at one end and then I start the other end, and render menu should have a true flag for its, no it shouldn't, it's just like style 1 actually. It's whenever I've stuck true in there, it's just got lucky. And the sidebar width should start out a button small. 7.75, that's a bit wee. Now, what are the next things? Yeah, look, there's the icons beginning to appear. Well, that is a weird looking thing. The, like, seriously, the text is like, I don't like the position of the text in the field. It's strange. I'm kind of okay with it inside in the label, the position of the text in the label. I'm kind of okay with it inside the buttons, but I feel like it's a little bit low down, so I'm going to have to look inside the label. The thing appears in the right place though, that's good. I would prefer if I could just click off this really to render appears correctly. The icons dim correctly when they go. Okay. My frame rate's dropping for no reason I'm aware of. Let me have a little quick look at the task manager. 40 megabytes. That's just quite normal. Although I must admit it's with a very small number of recursions. Probably going to lose frames now. Yeah, boy. It's just not in a mood to play. I guess FFmpeg's not helping. I don't think that this new setup is more stressful for it than the old one. In fact, I'm pretty certain it's not. It's got less to draw. It's got less to think about. Anyway. And this I'm okay with. I think this is better. If I get some image options, I gotta place them. I don't like the position of this. I might have to tweak my label gadget. I have to think about the size of this. also, why does it end? Oh no, it's okay. Right, it's just because this thing doesn't update very much. I need to find this button. I want to think again about the recursions button here. If I had a, like I say, tooltips would be useful. I'm looking at it and trying to make up my mind what I want to do about this button, because I can make it big enough to contain the word draw mode : space addition, but I think I'd rather it just said mode, and even then it's a little bit wide for it probably. So I wonder what would be better, if anything. Like, you know, obviously I can make the button wider. It's not a massive problem. Let's have a look at it. Where I set up the GUI. First off, why not just have a look for that old position button? Yeah, I probably should do that. That'll uncover it. These buttons are huge. I don't like the size of them. Oh, that changes almost immediately anyway. Also, going way down the sidebar, what happened to the render menu? Cancel render button. Oh yeah, okay. Then I say minus button width. I think I'm going to have to leave those as they are. Right, well, let me try going to refresh, finding wherever I say draw mode and just say draw : and I'll put a space in because I'm starting to want spaces, like in project, recursions and position. It's like I'm wasting a whole bunch of space putting the word recursions and position in there, but like I could shorten it to pause, and I could shorten it to rec, and I could make them small buttons. Don't know if they'd cram into small buttons. Where am I? If I'm in GUI setup, I define these things, then I do a bit of, yeah, I've got small buttons, so let's see about recursions being small button width and pause being small button width. This is more like rec, and I will just for the sake of, I mean, this gets, you know, this gets replaced almost immediately. I'm only writing it in there, so I've got some idea. I should really call that preview recursions. So, what new things? Oh, the slider box. I meant to make the slider box smaller. Yeah, doesn't fit. Draw addition. Draw gradient. Didn't apply. Oh, I need to update the GUI. this says that, but once I do that, it says that, because this updates the GUI. Okay. Don't need the words loop on, I realise. And I need to make these things higher. And the font smaller, I guess. Not going to get many decimal places in there. Yeah, it's not ideal, that, really. Does work, you know, and works. I shouldn't be upset because so many of these things do basically work straight off. If I turn that off, that works, and that works, and that works. If I say make it da-da-da, and then cancel it, it just works. Okay, so another little thing, make these buttons taller, and maybe make the font a little bit smaller. Another little thing, coming back from either render options or draw gradient, not draw mode, or draw mode options, gotta refresh the GUI. So these buttons change size a bit, these buttons refresh the GUI. Response. I hate. Where I am in totally the wrong place. Draw mode options. Here. I remove myself. But first I do GUI refresh. I don't need to bother with the cancel because nothing changes. That's my take on it. Similarly here. I can say GUI refresh. And inside actual GUI setup, GUI setup, I can say when I get to the sidebar here, the first thing I can do is say this times 1.5 or something like that, or actually I say local snap button height float equals button height times 1.5, and then I use snap button height and snap button height and snap button height float equals button height times 1.5. Align sides height, ding ding ding. There was another thing, it was, I wonder how can I set the text size? Who knows? Button GUI. Right, well it's got a G text. Set text size, apparently. When I say nothing, goes for font medium. In finish resize, well, I simplified finish resize quite a bit. It basically, like, with all a bunch of weird stuff in finish resize, then it will kind of squish the text around a lot. But I decided I didn't like it because I wanted to just know the size of my text. So I have a set text size and an S, and it's initially based on font medium, so I will make it a set, what was it, text size, and I will say font medium, and actually I'll say snap text size float equals font medium times 0.6 snap text size. And okay, and there's something else about the slider which comes down here. My god, that is preview position slider. Set box 0.05, yeah, 20th. I think it could be less than half that. And I've got to do something about that position indicator as well. It's too small now. How am I doing? 42 minutes. Right, this is a bit better. Still feel that could be smaller actually. This, the text is too small. The icons are starting to get the right size because they're sort of comparable to those ones at the bottom. The whole window opens too large for my resolution. Yeah, and it's kind of just about visible in there. I bet if I was running on my, you know, the resolution of the display, that would be very difficult to read. I kind of like the way it looks, but no, it's not right. I realise that these aren't ideal because they won't have any way of really indicating. I mean, I can make them pressed in or not, but I don't know if that's a... Okay, and also I gotta take the text off of this loop thing when I refresh. This never has text. All it has is the icon, loop text, icon. What? I can't, oh, do I have to set? Okay, set icon is what I'll do. I know I should, a lot of these were developed before I really had access to properties. I've used properties occasionally, and occasionally properly, not like in recent examples. Anyway, GUI image loop, what was it? Loop off flag? I cannot remember. GUI classes, loop off icon, loop on icon, right? Loop. God, okay, right. If selected corner just nothing happens. Problem? Fair enough. Oh, stop. This never happens. So glitch number 9 billion is right there. All these things are on. It works. That really shows up how bad my lines are. I must do some experiments. And I'm going to have to make the pause button like this pause indicator a bit bigger. And that all just works, it seems. Doesn't need to be that much bigger. There's a gap between project and this. I feel like I should have a gap between render and render options. And I feel like I should have a gap there too. I'm going to just boost this up so that I can have preview rec in there. Maybe I could make this a tiny bit smaller, but no, I'm tempted really just to not do that. Okay. What else is wrong at this moment? This could be a bit wider. This is kind of okay with size. This might be, I think this will be an okay size for adjusting that doodad, and it will always have the graphical doodad for when you're using an image to come later. This works, or well, it appears to work. This is an interesting situation, like both of these things are still active. If I cancel this, this is still here, but I can apply it. And really all it did was alter the gradient like I will demonstrate. Add that, cancel that, apply that, come back to gradient, there it is. It's not a big deal. Anyway, where on earth am I? 49 minutes. Okay, well, a couple more things. I will sort these two little doodads, and I'll make this font a tiny bit bigger. So, take me here. Project menu, preview recursions, small button width. Just go to button width and just go to button width. In refresh, say preview recursions and anim pause. And in also setup, say it is times 0.6 and actually maybe 0.8 is fairer. It will occupy, actually it probably doesn't need to be 1.5 high as well. Let's see how it looks once the font is that size. As the font grows, the icon will be squashed out of existence. When I look at them, in that instance the font looks a little high in the icon. Like, you know, they're all positioned fairly carefully, but it's hard to tell with the, like, similarly here that looks a little low. In fact, I'd love to know why it is that. I don't know. I don't know if that's the difference between my label font positioning and my button font positioning. I expect it is, but for the time being I'm going to try setting this to 1.3. Yeah, and that probably could have gone to 0.9, which I will do just before starting that again. And soon I'm going to call it a day for a day. Well, it's starting to infringe a bit much now, and also if I give it an actual value, like, I don't know, 180, well, 3-digit values just fit. Yeah, it does look a little high, but I am still going to heighten the box again because I think it gives the icon a bit more room to breathe, and I might examine my, in fact I'll make it even a bit higher, and I will take this down to 0.85. Wow, real crunches. I'll take it down to 0.8. I didn't look at my preview buttons, I was just all concentrating on icon gadgets. Okay, I kind of like the size of the icons like that, and the spacing's not bad. I feel like this could be maybe a pixel lower. I feel like that's okay. And that's okay. This just seems to work. Like, let's say I choose, no, not that, that, apply that, bring it back, say actually linear, scale of 0.5. That little damn keypad enter doesn't work. I was so hoping that would work. I maybe made a mistake. Then go to none, then apply, then come back, style linear, yes, exponential, correct. Okay. Seems to be working. I was going to widen this a little, or actually I could always just reduce the size of the scale a bit. I think that's what I'll do. Because I don't need much more space for width and height, and scale could lose a wee bitty. I always want to save a render log. That should be on by default. Well, it should be on by default, but I don't always want to save it because, yeah, maybe that would get annoying. Frames, loops, frames per second, quality, program, and a blank image options. So, am I looking at a leak? Doesn't look like it. It's a pretty normal amount. Not brave enough to hit render yet, and I'm not going to. For the time being, this is excellent. I'm sure the render image and video will still work just as well. There are other little tweaks I might make, like actually all of this being a single block when there's a little gap there. Maybe that's not ideal. These are not bad, honestly. Maybe I just leave them as they are. I'll attach these two buttons. That would be a very fun thing to be able to do. So, soon to occur. Tooltips. Testing the render options. Actually, one more little thing. I will do that, which I said I would, inside render options. The first thing is these, and what I'll do is I will say local scale button size float equals, what did I have a face width, is it? Button width is what? Button width is a face width, yeah. So make it button width times 0.2. So O button size, like output button size. No, it's size button size. No, it's not. It's friggin' other button size. I'm gonna call it out button size, even though they're all out buttons. Equals button width minus SBS divided by 2.0. Out button equals this. Out button size. Yeah, that's fine. And again, out button size. And then it's scale button size. Scale button size. And then it moves on. I don't really think there's a problem here. Oh yes, there is. You're right. Well done. See if I've made enough space for it. A fifth of that width, down from a third. We'll see. I should watch, because maybe that scale might end up huge. Nah, it's too small as well. And really I'm not thinking, because it just instantly disappears. These are at least integers, so I can boost it up a bit more, and maybe... actually think that's a good idea. Sorry, I was deceiving myself there when I was thinking about it, because the scale can hold a floating point value while the others won't. I don't like the way it's able to appear off the side of the screen. It's like that's fine there, but once I do that, it becomes useless. In fact, it's almost useless already, really. Maybe I should just bump it down onto another line. I may do that, but honestly I think that will probably wait for next time. Like many small things. These will do now, I guess. These I could put on one side and off on the other. That would make it a little bit more consistent with this kind of thing. They look kind of bulkier than them for some reason, but they aren't. Like snap, angle snap. So I guess I probably will do that. I'll put one on one side and the other on the other. And I'll connect up those. I will narrow this a little bit more still, because it doesn't still could be just a wee bit smaller. Don't know how much my mic has been cutting out this time.